Hi, I'm David Tracy with Jalopnik. I'm here at the 2018 Detroit Auto Show where Ram is showing off the DT. That's their new Ram 1500 pickup, and over there is a naked chassis. We're going to look at all the cool technical bits, so let's do that now. We're going to start first with a hybrid system.
Sure. We have a 48-volt system that's a motor generator unit. What that provides is about 130 pound-feet of torque. So in a stop and go, that's a smooth startup right off the bat. 48-volt battery for that is located behind the rear seat of the cab of the truck, so it's invisible to the customer. Seamless operation, provides excellent start capability.
So it's a 48-volt battery pack. Yep. It's also air-cooled in the cab, right?
Correct.
Do you know where the intake is?
Yes, it's right behind the rear seat, but it comes in through there, and then it exits through the exhausters.
Can you kind of show us the general vicinity of where that battery is?
The air comes in through here, and then it goes into the battery, and then it exhausts. This is all covered up with the cab back panel and our exhausters.
So those are just those rubber flaps, that one-way flaps.
You got it, absolutely.
Okay, so the benefits of this system, this mild hybrid system, you know, you mentioned start-stop being more seamless. Yep. You get boost as well?
When you start up from a stop-start, yes. Okay. It's not additive torque, so this is a 410 pound-feet, so that 130 would not be additive, but it's in startup mode. It smooths out those startups.
It also works as brake regen somehow?
Yes, provides power to the battery in regen mode.
Now, so, are the wheels like motoring, like spinning the motor in that case? And
it would be, yes,
okay.
in essence, yes.
The next thing I wanted to talk about, the frame.
Rolling chassis, 120 pounds of weight savings. The frame itself, 100 pounds of weight savings. How we accomplish that is through the use of advanced high-strength steels. 50% more advanced high-strength steels than our current frame. The 110 KSI, the green is at advanced high-strength steel at 85 KSI. Blue is high-strength steel, and you can see that these are put through the frame in double shear, so very, very strong. Comes through is welded on both sides. See the blue section. We also use aluminum in our frame as well. So our transmission cross member is aluminum, and then where we connect our lower control arms is an aluminum cross member there.
Now I noticed on this upper control arm there's some sort of strange webbing underneath.
Yeah, so it's composite relative to stamped steel upper control arm and then nylon reinforced. Active tune mass modules. And what these are part of our fuel saver mode. So when our Hemi engine goes into four-cylinder mode, you get a vibration, and as you push that more into four-cylinder mode, you get a little bit more vibration. These take care of the vibration. So we have a module under hood, picks up that vibration for the motor. They go to these, and then they shake internally 180 degrees out of phase, canceling that vibration. We have one on each side, and if you take a look at the various vehicles, whether they're 4x4, 4x2, different frame lengths, these are actually canted in different angles to optimize it.
Motor in there?
Yeah, so basically it's very simple. It's a coil, a magnet, and a mass on top of the coil, and it just shakes up and down. Very straightforward.
Other points I wanted to discuss. Aerodynamics.
9% improvement, 0.357 CD. This is best in segment. How we did that is two areas. One is in the rear of our cab roof. We actually dovetail the rear down, and we increase the box height by 32 millimeters. That's 40% of the 9%. So working with our exterior designers, we're able to come in with a design that gets that air over the roof with a minimal amount of turbulence. The other 40% of the 9%, so now we're up to 80, is our active air dam. So a non-air suspension vehicle, that would be our steel suspension. It deploys at 35 miles an hour, and then it retracts at 15. Normal customer may never know he actually has one on a vehicle.
So the point there is you want to divert the air away from all of the suspension parts, and
yep. You want to get it away, under, and around as smoothly as possible with less turbulence. Then we continue with our grill shutters, our full-face grill shutters.
Grill shutters. The idea there is sending air through your engine bay adds drag.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Cooling drag is what you're trying to minimize.
Yep, shut those off, minimize that. Also from days like today in Michigan, a little cold outside, faster warm up.
So this whole thing is taller?
Yeah, 32 millimeters taller, and that bed height improved 14 counts, 0.014 CD.
How does that help? it's
just how the air comes off, and then instead of getting that to stick to the rear glass, because typically you get these eddies that roll off, it minimizes that. Same with here and this, we want to minimize those eddies as they come off. Okay. So less of that, slipperier the design, less turbulent airflow.
Now we're gonna sort of shift towards something a little nerdier. Rob, can you tell us this thermal axle? Saw it in the press release. What is it? How does it work? What's the point?
In essence, what you want to do in your rear axle is get your temperature up to, I'm going to call it Zen temperature. Right? You don't want it too cold, you don't want it too hot. And that's essentially what the thermal axle does. So it's a casing on your rear axle. It's on a 4x2, 321 axle only that we have it on, and it's on a 3.6 and our 5.7. So it's an outer housing that runs coolant in between the outer and inner sheet metal, the rear cover. Coolant comes up, the axle temperature starts to raise, and then it goes back. And we feed that off of our heater circuit, so after the vehicle demand has come up relative to customer occupancy, that's when we start heating our rear axle. We have a valve associated with that. We actually have coolant lines that run from the front of the vehicle. This vehicle doesn't have it, from the front of the vehicle to the rear. It's basically a cover with a gap in it.
That's it.
There are a few dimples for heat exchanging, and that's it. And then the other side is the oil.
So basically, you say, okay, it's a cold day. You started up the engine. Cabin is warm enough. It's been a few minutes.
Yep.
Now let's send some of that coolant to this rear diff, to this axle cover, so that we can warm up the fluid, because warm fluid
is less viscous.
Less viscous, and
right, and so
fewer shearing losses.
Right, exactly.
If you look at this frame, especially from the front, there's one thing that sticks out, literally, and it's these frame rails, these octagonal frame rails.
So from a front and then also from an offset impact. These control the energy coming into the frame. That's all engineered to absorb that energy coming into the front wheel. And as that gets past that, depending on the impact, then it goes into our wheel blockers. And what that does is that blocks that wheel from going into, right about here is the cab.
These frame rails are essentially at the very edges of your front bumper beam, I take it.
Yes. Yep.
And this is seems like small overlap. IHS crash was kind of the idea here.
We want to be good. We're gonna.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely, that was the idea.
That's why these come outward. We just talked about a lot of stuff. The frame, little mass dampers on the frame. We talked about aero. We talked about the hybrid systems. What do you think is the standout feature?
I would say the aero, leading in class at 0.357 is significant, very difficult to achieve.
All right, I'm David Tracy with Jalopnik. This is the Ram 1500. We're out from Detroit.